Hello guys, welcome to part 14 and chapter 14 of Legacy. First of all, I wanna say that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you wanna read the full story for yourself, you will find the original link to the post down in the description. That being said, let's get into the video. Legacy, part 14, chapter 14. Chunnine exams begin. Chunin exams begin. It was another simple day in Konoha. The sun was rising to a new warm day in the leaf. The villagers were starting their own businesses, and the others, shinobi, were preparing for their daily lives. Currently, we find Naruto and Hinata in training ground 8 sparring with Haku and Zabuza. Since Naruto got his sword, the Thunder God, he asked Zabuza for tips so he could rely on Kenjutsu in a real battle. Hinata was fighting Haku in all-out contest. Haku could only keep up using her ice mirrors, which would lead to quick defeat due to massive chakra usage. Zabuza versus Naruto. Kenjutsu only. Zabuza said as he was facing Naruto. They were a few meters apart, each one glaring each other's sword. Kyubikiri Bochi versus Thunder God. Agreed. Naruto flared and flared his sword to life, blue light emanating from the sword. It was sparkling in all its power, still not powerful as my permanent weapon. Maybe one day I will use it, but it sticks out too much. Naruto thought, let's see what you can do. Zabuza said as dashed forward towards to Naruto. He went for a horizontal slash, but Naruto blocked. He soon found out it was a bad idea because Zabuza had more blunt force than him. Naruto was forced to jump back. Rule number 1: don't block strike from enemies stronger than you. Zabuza said. Naruto ran towards Zabuza. He jumped into the air and tried a vertical slash. Zabuza sidestepped and tried to kick him in the chest. Naruto blocked and caught his leg his leg threw him at the air. Zabuza quickly regained balance and landed gracefully on the ground. Not bad, but if you want to beat me in Kenjutsu, you need more strength. Zabuza said, I could always beat you in speed. Naruto said, smirking and deactivating his gravity shield. Zabuza saw his body lightly glowing and braced himself. Naruto disappeared in a show of speed. Zabuza, out of his instinct, brought his sword up just in time to deflect an attack that could be ahead him. Naruto disappeared again, and this time Zabuza jumped out of the way just as Naruto came from the sky with a vertical slash. I give it to you. You are fast, but that alone isn't enough. I have years of experience. Zabuza said and redid his sword once again. He dashed forward with impressive speed and reached a few exclaimed a few blows with Naruto, exchanged a few blows with Naruto, exchanged a few blows with Naruto. However, Zabuza could keep up in speed. He couldn't keep up with speed, and waving around that big sword certainly didn't help. You can't keep up in speed with me, Naruto said, and continued to pray his strikes. Quickly shifting his position, putting Zabuza on his toes. Zabuza had enough of this. He slowly relaxed, forcing his senses. He realized an attack was coming from the right. He brought his sword up, but instead of simply blocking, he precisely he pushed strike into he pushed strength into his sword, making Naruto lose his balance. Zabuza took opportunity of this. Quick repositioned his sword at his neck. I win. Speed alone isn't enough. Zabuza said, removing the blade from his neck. One of these days I will defeat you in Kenjutsu, Naruto said, deactivating his sword. Hinata versus Haku. Ready, Haku-san? Hinata asked, shifting into position and activating her Byakugan always. Haku replied, picking up senbons and placing the ri in each hand. Hinata quickly ran towards Haku. She shifted to the left to quickly avoid the senbons towards Senbon's throne. With her Byakugan, she could easily track the incoming senbons. Hinata arrived near Haku and went for a Jugen strike to the chest. Haku quickly ducked and went for a low kick. Hinata jumped up and tried a drop kick, making Haku roll to the left. They both dashed toward each other and exchanged blows. Haku quickly realized that she was no match to Hinata in taijutsu. Hinata was simply avoiding all of her attacks as if she was dancing. Haku tried once again a punch strike to the face. However, Hinata sidestepped and quickly, with an influx stream, managed to close a few chakra points in her wrist. Haku gave up on taijutsu and jumped back, nursing her left hand. Haku started going through one-handed seals, and said, "The thousand flying water needle of death," and sent countless senbos toward Hinata. Hinata said Kaiten and started spinning in a blue dome of chakra, completely blocking all of the senbons. Haku took that time and focused chakra towards her chakra point to painfully open them. Hinata was simply a primarily a water user, since it was her first element she trained. Since there wasn't a nearby lake, she decided to change the terrain to her advantage. She quickly went through a few handsills and shouted, "Exploring water wave!" as palmed her chest full of water, explaining expelling it through her mouth. In a few seconds, the training ground was filled with water. That might have been a bad move, Hinata-san. With this much water, it is much easier for me to use my ice release, Haku said, but Hinata continued to stare at her, getting ready for the next move. Ice release. Flying ice shards, Haku said, and like Hinata, she started spinning. However, it wasn't blocking anything. Haku was spinning and water was rising around her. Suddenly, the water around her started freezing, and from it came a thousand upon thousands of ice shards. I cannot hold up my kitten long enough to block all of this, Hinata thought, and started going through handsails. He stopped and said, "The water wall." Water rose from the ground and wrapped around her, blocking all the ice shards. However, Haku continued to send, and Hinata had to do something. "I got it," Hinata thought. "I hope this works. I haven't completely mastered it." Hinata kept inside the water dome as the shard continued coming. She concentrated and suddenly released a vast amount of lighting chakra that retained from her body and spread towards the water, effectively shocking Haku. That was surprising. I didn't know you could use lightning element, Haku said, lightly twitching. "Just discovered it a few weeks ago," Hinata said as she released her protective dome and said, water style, water dragon, and a big dragon rose from the ground and rushed Haku. Haku barely managed to create an ice dome around her to shield her from the attack. Haku released her jutsu and looked around, trying to find Hinata. Suddenly, behind Haku, Hinata rose from the water, kunai at hand, trying to kill her. Haku sensed her and was faster than her and creating an ice blade around her arms quickly slashed Hinata, making her dispel in a splash of water. Water clone. Haku said, surprised, and suddenly felt coldly still at her throat. She realized that water clone was only a distraction. Looks like I win, Hinata said with a small smile. I look forward to next time, Haku said, sitting on the ground lightly out of breath. You okay? Hinata asked, concerned with her. Yeah, I am low on chakra. What about you? Haku asked, surprised that Hinata wasn't even wind and she used a couple of high chakra demanding jutsus, and that defensive dome is killer on anyone's reserves. When you train with a train when you train for years with a stamina freak and chakra monster, you tend to increase your reserves if you want to keep up. Hinata said, chuckling, and Haku simply looked smiling. Haku was happy since she came to the leaf. She had a simple and peaceful life, no more creepy beds and constantly having to watch out for hunters. Training Ground 8. Kuronai and Shino were approaching their team's training ground when they saw all the commotion. Kuronai and Shino had their jaws on the ground when they saw Naruto hold his own against Zabuza, one of the seven swordsmen of the mist, and even Hinata using high-ranking water jutsus. I might have to increase my training if I want to have anything to teach them. Kuronai said, and Shino only nodded. They really grow into fine young shinobi. Kuronai getting their attention. Zabuza sensei, see you tomorrow and thank you. Naruto said, and Zabuza simply nodded. Hey Haku, want to stick around? Hinata asked. Sorry, my shift in the hospital starts in a few minutes, and later I have my own team meeting, Haku said, and Hinata nodded, and both Zabuza and Haku left the training ground. So, Kuronai sensei, what are you doing today? Naruto asked. Kuronai placed her hand in her pockets and took out 3 pieces of paper and gave one to each. These are inscription paper for the Chunnine exams. I have nominated you three, so if you want to participate, be at the academy in a week, Kuronai explained. Flashback. Naruto was in the the Hokage was in his office, and in front of him were all the Konohas, Jonin senseis, and a few other shinobi. I called you all here for a reason. The Hokage said, since the majority were Jonin sensei, many of them already suspected the meaning of this. Is it time already? Kakashi asked, and the Hokage nodded. Yes, tomorrow I will formally announce that this year we are hosting the Chunin exams, the Hokage explained. Now either of you want to nominate teams for the exams, the Hokage asked, and Kakashi, Kuronai, Asuma, Guy stepped forward. I Hatake Kakashi, Jonin Sensei of Team 7, nominate Uchiha Sasuke, Inuzuka Kiba, and Haruna Sakura for the exams. Kakashi said, I, Yuhi Kuronai, Jonin Sensei of Team 8, nominate Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Hinata, and Avura Mishino for the exams. Kuronai said, I, Maito Guy, Jonin Sensei of Team 9 nominate Hyuga Neji, Rock Lee, and Igarashi Tenten for the exams, Guy said in a serious tone that surprised everyone that suspected him to start shouting. I, Sarutobi Asuma, Jonin Sensei of Team 10, nominate Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akimichi Choji for the exams. Asuma finished and everyone started whispering about all the rookies being nominated. Wait a minute, I understand Naruto and Hinata, but the rest aren't ready for the exams. Iruka shouted. Wait, you say that they are unprepared except the dead last and the shy princess? Asuma said, laughing. Hey Asuma, how about a small bet? Kurunai asked, inwardly smirking. What type of bet? Asuma replied. The team that has more members promoted wins. Kurunai said. What about the awards? Asuma said. How about this? If I win, you can smoke for a month, Kurunai said, and Asuma chuckled. Fine, but if I win, I get to take you out on a date, Asuma said, and Kurunai slightly blushed. End of flashback. Now how about a few spars with me to see what you learned. I already saw you against Zabuza and Haku, but more training is never bad. Kurunai said, and only after that she started. She said that, and only after she said that she began wondering if it was a good idea. Okay, Kurunai sensei, you are against me, Naruto said, and Kuronai gulped. Naruto was a chakra monster and his taijutsu was pretty good. She would have to rely on her genjutsu and hope it was enough. How wrong she was. Can I go all out? Naruto asked, and Kuronai was wondering if she was leaving this alive. Sure, as long as I live. She said, and Naruto chuckled. Get ready, Kuronai sensei. Get ready, Kuronai sensei, Naruto said, and dashed forward at blinding speed and crushed into Kuronai, who didn't expect him to be that fast. They tumbled across the ground until they stopped. Damn. Sorry, sensei, I forgot I disabled my gravity shields, Naruto said, chuckling, and helped Kuronai up, who was still dazed from the impact. You should consider that a taijutsu move, Kuronai said, nursing her head. She felt she was hit with concrete. Here I go, Naruto said. Great fireball jutsu, and sent a fireball towards Kuronai. She jumped out of the way and flashed through Hansil's and started vanishing in the air. Naruto saw this and activated his Sharingan. Behind Naruto, a tree situated and wrapped around him. Kuronai quickly appeared in the tree with a kunai getting ready to stab Naruto. However, Naruto performed the genjutsu contract using his Sharingan, and then the illusion was switch, making Naruto in the tree getting ready to kill Kuronai. Kuronai saw this bit her lips to quickly break the illusion. The illusion broke and she ducked just in time to avoid a horizontal slash with the Thunder God's sword. Naruto saw her ducking. He quickly adjusted and planted a powerful quick kick in her chest. She was able to block it, but the force was enough to send her tumbling through the ground. Kuronai recovered and threw a few shurikens towards Naruto. Naruto had his Sharingan activated and saw that a few of them had no chakra and realized it was an illusion and quickly dispelled it. Kurunai sensei, genjutsu is useless against me. Even the most powerful one is meaningless. Naruto, just because you have the Sharingan, it doesn't mean you are immune to them. Kurunai scoffed, scolded. It's not because of the Sharingan. Since I am in good terms, the Kyuubi, he can disturb my chakra from the inside, dispelling any illusion. Naruto explained, and Kuronai cursed her luck. There was no way she would win now. She would have to catch him by surprise. They both eyed each other, waiting for the other to make their first move. Neither of them wanting to make the first wrong move. Suddenly, Naruto picked a few shurikens and threw them at her. Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, and 5 shurikens multiplied it to hundreds. Naruto went through more handsills and said, "Great breakthrough!" The shurikens gained incredible speed and rushed towards Kuronai. She didn't have many options to dodge them, so she used Kawarimi with a nearby log. Substitution jutsu. She recovered and searched her surroundings just in time to jump out of the way for a hand that sprouted out of the ground and tried to snatch her. As she jumped back, a presence appeared behind her and said, "Gotcha, gotcha." The Naruto clone exploded and sent Kurona crashing into the tree, leaving her drifting in and out of consciousness. Naruto approached behind her with a kunai to her neck. "Congrats, Naruto, you are more than ready for the Chunin exams," Kuronai said weakly. She was almost depleted of chakra, and her clothes were seized from explosion. Sighed from explosion. "You are in good shape, Sensei," Naruto said, and bit his thumb and slammed his hand on the ground. Kagebushan no Jutsu, Kawishi no Jutsu, summoning jutsu, and out came Kagura. "Can you heal Kuronai Sensei? I was a bit rough in the spar," Naruto said, smirking sleepishly, rubbing the back of his head. "A bit rough? You literally blew her up," Kuroma said, chuckling. "It was only an exploding clone and wasn't fully charged," Naruto replied. "You lucky, otherwise you might have killed her. She never stood a chance against someone like you. You have better taijutsu, your ninjutsu is ridiculous, and genjutsu, even though you can perform that many, you are immune to them." Kurama explained, and Naruto simply nodded. Naruto and Kuronai walked back to the middle of the training ground to see Hinata crouching on the ground, healing a passed out Shino. "What happened?" Kuronai said, still nursing her ribs that were a bit sore. "I used water jutsu and Shino didn't have time to dodge and crashed into him, knocking him out cold," Hinata explained. Naruto and Kuronai's sweat dropped at the way she casually said that, "Okay, you can leave. I will take Shino home," Kuronai said, and everyone left the training ground. Middle of Konoha. Naruto and Hinata were walking peacefully through Konoha. They noticed that the glares they received were somewhat different. The glares showed more fear than anything. Hey, him, is it me or are the glares more discreet?" Naruto asked. "Yes, they don't seem to openly glare at you now. They seem scared." "I wonder why though," Hinata replied. "Maybe it was because of my stunt during the council meeting," Naruto said, chuckling, and Hinata giggled. "What do you want to do?" Naruto asked. "I'm kind of hungry. Since I had two matches, how about we go for some cinnamon rolls?" Hinata said with a watery mouth. "You really have a nasty sweet tooth," Naruto said, chuckling. "Let's go." They were walking peacefully until they noticed a box following them. "Does he really think we didn't notice him?" Naruto whispered to Hinata. "Apparently," she replied. You can come out, Konohamaru, Naruto said. Suddenly the box exploded, massive cloud of multiple smoke. From the smoke appeared three kids around the age of 8. The kid in the middle was Konohamaru. He was the grandson of Yuzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. They became rather good friends a few months ago when they met. It was the day after gaining graduation. Both Naruto and Hinata were standing in front of the Hokage working on their ninja license. Naruto's photograph was rather expressive, and the Hokage wanted him to retake the photo. Suddenly, the room's doors busted open. Naruto didn't even think as he channeled chakra to his storage seal in his wristband and pulled a few shurikens. Hey, G! The kid didn't even manage to say two words and he was already frozen. The kid was pinned in the wall with 10 shurikens through his clothes. Naruto, what did you do? The Hokage asked with his eyes wide, and Naruto was really fast to react. Naruto took a moment to realize that the person who burst through the door was about 8 years old and his hand were wooden shuriken. What did you expect, old man? This is what happens when you surprise a shinobi. Naruto said, trying to apologize, even though he didn't do anything wrong. The Hokage just shook his head at the attention of his grandson Naruto. Take him from the wall. The Hokage said. Naruto went towards the kid and removed the shurikens. My bad, kid. Though you shouldn't surprise the shinobi, Naruto said, and the kid continued looking at him. What's your name, boss? Can you teach me that? The kid asked. I'm Naruto, kid, but you should be starting the academy this year, so they will teach you that there. Naruto explained. I am not a kid. I am Sarutobi Konohamaru, future Hokage of Konoha. The kid, now identified as Konohamaru, said. Naruto smirked at the kid. He reminded him a little of him. Suddenly, through the door came a shinobi. Honorable grandson, there you are. Ibisu started until he looked at the room and noticed Naruto. It's the closet perv. How are you doing? Naruto asked. I'm not a pervert, you brat. Ibisu glaring daggers at him. Whatever you say, Naruto said and performed one of his most powerful technique, an S rank forbidden jutsu, the technique that shall not be named, the one and only sexy jutsu. In a puff of smoke appeared a beautiful blonde girl, completely naked except with the smoke covering all the important parts. Both the Hokage and Ibisu flew into the air and crashed into the ground, passed out by blood loss. Wow, boss, teach me that jutsu. You managed to defeat the Hokage and Ibisu sensei at the same time. Konohamaru said. Naruto was about to reply when Naruto-kun, you are not going to teach him that, are you? Hinata asked in a very sweet voice that made them both back up a few steps. Of course not. Naruto said nervously, stretching the back of his hand. Come with me, Konohamaru. Let's leave them on the ground. Naruto said, trying to defuse the situation, and all the three of them left the room. End of flashback. What do you want? Konohamaru asked Naruto. Do you want to play ninja? Konohamaru asked. Suddenly, the three of them heard laughter. They turned around to see the pink-haired banshee Sakura. What kind of ninja plays ninja? Sakura smugly asked. It's pretty fun, actually. Besides, you get to train stealth. Get to train stealth, trap, strategy, and tracking. Hinata explained, and Sakura just got deadpanned. Go away, flat-chested, Konohamaru said with an immense silence forward. Konohamaru, You should run now, Naruto said as a few murderous pump or purple aura around Sakura that would put Orochimaru to shame. Konohamaru gasped and started running with Sakura in hot pursuit. Naruto and Hinata just laughed as they watched Sakura chase Konohamaru. Obviously, Sakura, being a fangirl, had died going on to keep her figure, so she barely could keep up with an 8-year-old. Konohamaru was still running and made a sharp turn and crashed into another shinobi that was around the corner. Damn it, Brad, that hurt, the shinobi said and picked up Konohamaru by the collar and getting ready to apply some punishment. Naruto and Hinata heard the crash and went to investigate. They arrived and saw two strange shinobi with a sand handband. The one holding Konohamaru wore a black blue full body suit with a red and yellow circle around, and on the front he also wore a black hood which covered his head completely and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead. He also blurred his back. He had a band in his back with white bandages surrounding it completely. The other shinobi outfit consisted of a single light purple colored off the shoulder garment that exposed her halfway down her thigh, with a skirt slash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporation fishnets were over her shoulders and legs, especially on her right calf and her left thigh. She also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. Nice. Leave the kid alone, Konkaro. The Konoichi in the back said, I have to teach him some respect, Tamari. Konkaro replied to the female shinobi. Fine, but if you get in trouble, I'm not helping you, Tamari replied, and Konkaro nodded, getting ready to smash his face into Konohamaru. Sakura just was scared for what then until both Naruto and Hinata arrived at the screen. Hey, clown, put Konohamaru down, Naruto said. Who are you calling clown? Konkaro asked. You are wearing a full body catsuit with makeup, Naruto replied. It's not makeup, it is paint, Konkaro replied, getting pissed off. Whatever you say, just put the brat down, Naruto said, getting ready to spring into action if need be. I am teaching him some manners, Konkaro said as he made a fist and prepared to punch Konohamaru. Both Naruto and Hinata vanished in an instant. To any untrained eyes, they were blurs. 1 second later, Hinata had Tamari with the kunai at her throat just as Naruto had Garo. Naruto kunais now were all three pronged with the Hurashin shield. However, none of them recognized it. Now, how about you put him down gently? Naruto said in his sweetest voice, and a small blood dropped from Konkaro's neck. Konkaro and Tamari were sweating. They didn't even see them move. They were just blurs. Besides, your teammate doesn't seem very happy, Naruto said, pointing towards a nearby tree. Suddenly, from behind the tree appeared another Shan shinobi, a little shorter than the average male of his age. He has fair skin and short spiky hair, abundant hair which was sometimes described as red. He has green eyes and no distinctive distinctive purple or pupils, distinctive pupils or eyebrows either. Had no distinctive pupils or eyebrows either. He has two very noticeable traits in his appearance. Firstly, he has tenuki like black tenuki like black earrings, having them since his birth. Second, he carved the kanji love on the left side of his forehead. Gara, Konkoro said in a dry voice, clearly fearing the shinobi now identified as Gara. He made a sand swing towards him, toward his team, just as Naruto and Hinata reacted with kunais and regrouped with Sakura, and then now released Konohamaru. They managed to get behind Tamari and Konkoro. They are good. Gara said. Gara thought, stop it. Stop this or I will kill you. Gara said, and Konkoro took a step back. I was just teaching them a lesson. Konkoro smugly said, shut up. You are a disgrace to our village, Gara said in his usual cold tone. You know, Naruto said, getting the attention of the redhead. It's nice to meet you. Each means one. Naruto said, and the sand team froze. They knew very well what he meant. How do you know? Gara asked. Naruto simply turned around to show them the kanji for 9 written in his back. The fireball says that the Tenuki is one crazy bastard. Naruto said, Mother says you are strong. I will prove my existence by killing you. Gara said, unleashing killer intent as the sand was starting to leave his god and bending and dancing around him. Poor Sakura was on the ground, barely managing to breathe from the amount of killer intent. Naruto was simply applied his own that overwhelmed Gaara's ki to the point that his team took a step back. Tamari and Konkoro were just shitting their pants. Here it was a Jinchuriki like their brother, but he had the strongest of the demons, the QB, the demon fox. Suddenly another team arrived where they were, but this team was from the Cloud Village. They were being escorted by what seemed to be their Jonin sensei. He has dark skin and a muscular build, as well as white hair and goatee. On his right shoulder, he has a tattoo with a kanji for iron, and on his left cheek, he has a tattoo for a bull's horn. His top lip also has a slightly darkened hue than his bottom one. He wears overalls, spread sunglasses, and a white colored forehead protector. He also has his village standard one strap over one shoulder, flat jacket, and a long red rope blade tied around his waist. He stand Kumo hand and sign ground, shinobi sand, and a white. He stared Kumo hand and shine ground, shinobi sandals, and a white scarf around his neck, and he also carried 7 swords on his back. The rest of his team there were 2 girls and a boy. The one of the girls had long straight blonde hair blonde with tough bandages and dark eyes. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to the cloud on them. Purple fingerless gloves and a chain of white beads around her left hand. She also wore the standard Kumo forehead protector, sandals, and Konoichi shoulder which was strapped onto her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs as well as a red belt around her waist. The other girl is a dark-skinned Konoichi with long red hair and emerald eyes. She wore a long, short-sleeved dress with furly edge, complete with the Kamukumoko cloud comb flag jacket, two simply yellow earring, fishnet stocking, thigh-high boots with white soles, and a forehead protector which she wore like a bandana. She also carried a long sword on her back. The final member was male. He is a dark-skinned Kumo ninja with short, spiky white hair and dark eyes. He captured the line serving upwards from the corner. He wore a dark outfit consisting of overall shirt with a hood with red bandages, handguard, shin guard, and a black forehead protector. He also carries a long sword on his back like her teammates. As usual, the QB instinctively warned Naruto of the others. Is this a reunion? Naruto asked and turned to the Kumo team. Nice to meet you. 1218. I am Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto said. Sakura and Konohamaru were obviously oblivious to what was happening, but the rest could feel the tense air between the teams. Kumo tried to kidnap Hinata when she was 6, so both of them were a bit wary of them, and Gaara seemed that he was about to jump in and attack all of them. Nice to meet you too, Mr. Nine. I fly like a bee, sting like a I fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I am the Jinjuriki of the Habichi, the mighty killer bee. Bee shouted, pummeling his fist into the air. Shut up, Bee, the blonde-haired girl yelled and bonked him in the head. I am Ni Yugito. She said, Omoi said, Karui said. Suddenly another team joined the fray as her team sensed the tents anywhere in the village. Do you mind if I join the party? A girl with green hair asked. Everyone turned to the newcomer, and both Naruto and Hinata said, Fu, surprised to see her. I guess everyone here is going to the Chunin exams? Naruto asked, and then everybody nodded. It should be fun. It seems to be plenty of competition around, Naruto said with a few smirked. The sand around Gaara just seemed to dance around him even more when he noticed the arrival of the Kumo team. Kankuro and Tamari were sweating bullets as they noticed the smile on Gaara's face. Kakashi, Kiba, and Sasuke soon arrived when they sensed the killer intent being emitted by Gaara and Naruto when they met. Hey, Kakashi-ni-san, Naruto said. What is going on? Kakashi said as he noticed what seemed to be a sort of face-off. There was a team from Kumo, Sand, and Taki. He also sensed some tension in the air between all of them. Kakashi Sensei, you better train your team if you want them to survive. I can guarantee you right now that everyone here will reach the finals. Naruto said, and everyone smirked except Team 7 and Kakashi, who were still oblivious to what was happening. What makes you think that? Kakashi asked, and Naruto chuckled. What's so funny, dope? Sasuke asked. Nothing, Naruto replied. Kakashi Sensei, Naruto said, getting his attention. each. 1. Naruto pointing at Gaara. Me. 2. Naruto pointing at Yugito. Nana. 7. Naruto said pointing to Fu. Achi. 8. Naruto said pointing at to Killer B. Kiwi. 9. Naruto said, pointing to himself. When Naruto finished, Kakashi's eyes widened. In front of him were 5 of the 9 Jinchurikis. It was extremely rare for them to meet by chance, but it appears that fate played a hand in this. Don't try to look cool like Sasuke-kun, Sakura yelled. Shut it, Sakura. I am allowing you to go into the Chunin exams, but if you see any of these teams, you surrender immediately. Do I make myself clear? Kakashi asked in a serious tone, and she nodded. Like they can win against me and Uchiha. Sasuke said with his traditional smirk, arrogant smirk. I will enjoy spilling your noble blood, Uchiha Gaara said, and everyone got shivers. The fireball is right. You are a crazy Tanuki, Naruto said, and Yugito flew and sneaked. It has been fun. See you at the exams, Naruto said and left with Hinata. The rest soon disappeared and went on their business. With Team 7, I was serious when I said that. If you run into any of those teams, you run. Do I make myself clear? Kakashi said as I and asked. Both Kira and Sakura quickly nodded. Was the Uchiha's response. Let's go train. You need to be more prepared for this, Kakashi said and dragged his team to the training ground. Naruto and Hinata, who knew there would be so many of us for us competing. Naruto said the exams will prove to be interesting. She said. Don't tell me you want to fight them. Don't tell me you want to fight them, Hinata asked. Of course, all of the Jinchurikis tend to be strong. It is no fun fighting weak opponents, Naruto said, and Hinata just shook her head. Let's go, I'm teaching a few techniques against Jinchuriki since you might need them against 3 of them, Naruto said. Sand team, Gaara, I think we should avoid that blonde kid, Kankuro said. He was fearful from both of them. Shut up. I will enjoy spilling his blood as the Uchihas. Yes, I will prove my existence with their blood, Gaara said. Kumo team. That blonde kid seems strong, Yugito said. Do you think he can work with the QV? She asked. Hachibi says that the QV never got along with his host, but we better hope that he can't. Even the Hachibi can't go against him. Killer B said. Even the Achibi can't go against him, the Killer Bee said. What if we end up facing them in the Chunin exams and then he unleashes the QB leading to the destruction of the leaf? Omoi said, getting a smack from Karui. But the way he knew of all of us, it seems that he at least talks with him. Just be careful. Now, Killer B said with his fist, first time without rhyme, being first time without rhyme. Taki team, do you know who the blonde kid was? One of whose teams asked. I escorted him to our village on mission. Fu explained, but we be careful. He faced and defeated a Konoha rogue ninja named Aoi, who was a Jonin, he said, and her team's eyes busted out. Did he use the QB's powers? The other teammate asked. No, I don't sense nothing at all. I didn't sense anything at all. It was all him. So let's be careful around him. Also, the girl is his girlfriend, but she also took down a Jonin. So we must be on our toes with his team, Fu explained, and they dumbly nodded. 1 week later, Naruto and Hinata were at home getting ready for going to the academy to start their exams. Both of them had new wristbands with storage seals for shurikens, senbons, kunais, and their swords. Each one also carried another scroll a bit larger with food supplies, first aid kit, a few poison and general antidotes. Anything you might need. You never know what happens or what kind of test they would face. You ready? Hinata asked. Yes, let's go kick ass. Kick ass, Naruto replied and left the room heading towards the academy. They arrived at the academy using a Shishuin and noticed that Shino was already there waiting for them. Sorry we were late. It took a little while to gather the supplies, Naruto said. Not a problem, let's go, Shino said. The three of them entered the academy. Team 8 came inside the academy to find the sensei waiting for them. Kurunai sensei, what are you doing here? Naruto asked. I am here to say good luck. I am glad all of you decided to participate, Kurunai explained. Thank you, sensei. We are going to kick ass, Naruto said, and Kurunai smiled. Team 8 continued through the academy, heading towards the designated room, which was room on in the third floor. They arrived and noticed a small gathering of Genin team trying to enter the room. Genjutsu, Hinata whispered to her teammates. Nodded their heads. It is your cousin's team. They must be trying to downplay their skills, Naruto said. Just as they were about to leave to the next floor, since this room was the wrong one, was beginning to marked by a small marked by was and was being marked by a small genjutsu. Team 7 arrived with their nose held high. Drop this genjutsu now, Sasuke commanded. That idiot, Naruto thought as Hinata and Shino thought along with the same line. My failure of a cousin. What are you doing here? Neji asked in his confident tone. Neji was Hinata's cousin and was hailed as a Hyuga prodigy. Little did he know Neji had long black hair that reached the middle of his back and was tied back a few inches above the end in a loose ponytail, while two straps attached to a small headband underneath his ninja hair forehead protector farm the side of frame the sides of his face. He wore a black forehead protector that wore slugly over his forehead band. He wore a khaki white shirt under which he wore a dull blue shirt with a mesh armor underneath it, dark brown shorts, blue shinobi sandals. He also had bandages wrapped around his right arm, chest, and right leg. Participating in the Chunin exams, of course, she explained. She seems different. At least her sadness is gone, Neji thought. It is worthless. You are fated to be a loser. You are a worthless kunoichi, Neji smugly replied. I don't believe in fate, and I shall rise above it all, as you should. No one controls our destinies. We alone make our destinies, Hinata explained, trying to reach her knuckleheaded of a cousin. Not possible. You cannot change fate, and I shall prove it in these exams, Neji said and walked off. Hinata just shook her head. I guess we will have to beat him to prove it that fate doesn't mean anything, Naruto said, and Hinata simply nodded. Neji wasn't a bad person. He was blinded by his head towards the main branch of the Hyuga clan. Another member of Neji's team approached heading toward Team 7 and Team 8. He possesses very thick eyebrows and thick eyebrows and large round black eyes and protected lower eyelashes. His hair is cut and styled in a bold cut style like Guy, and he also began wearing the same attire, consisting of a green jumpsuit, orange leg warmers, and a red forehead protector worn as a belt. Holy shit! It's a clone of Guy. Naruto said Naruto all but shouted, I see you know my youthful sensei, Mighty Guy. I am Rock Lee. It's a pleasure to meet you. Since we meet such youthful person, Lee yelled, making a few bringing his hand to his ears, few bringing their hands to their ears, thinking it was a futon jutsu. Yeah, sure. Nice to meet you. I am Uzumaki Naruto. Naruto said and extended his hand, and that Lee gladly took. Are you Uchiha Sasuke? Lee asked to dark shade haired shinobi that was standing nearby. In fact, anyone would know who he was since he had the Uchiha crest in his shirt and was the last Uchiha of Konoha, said the boy, turning to face him and merely nodded. I wish to fight you, Lee said with his trademark nice guy pose. You know who I am, and yet you want to fight me. You are a fool. But it might be a good warm up. Come, I want to watch you. Come, I want to watch this. Naruto said, and Team 7 and Team 8 left with Lee teammate left with Lee to watch the match. Dope. Watch carefully, you might learn something. Sasuke smugly said to Naruto, who was standing in the back balcony. I intend to, Naruto replied, chuckling and activating his Sharingan, hiding its usual genjutsu. Both Sasuke and Lee were facing each other with the rest of Team 7 nearby with Team 8. Strange, Naruto thought as he analyzed Lee with his Sharingan. Hima, can you check Lee's chakra levels? Naruto asked and Hinata nodded. She activated her Byakugan and gasped. I think he can't use chakra. His chakra pathways are too small. He probably cannot mold chakra. Hinata explained. Lee was basically a civilian. I thought so. If he can't use genjutsu or ninjutsu, he only can resort to taijutsu, so he must be good, Naruto said as he watched the beginning of the fight. Sasuke versus Lee. Sasuke ran forward towards to punch Lee. However, he disappeared just as Sasuke's fist was about to connect. Sasuke regained his footing just in time to see Lee in the air, about to spin leaf whirlwind. Lee said and spin trying to kick Sasuke. Sasuke ducked to avoid it. Lee, watching Sasuke duck, placed his hand on the ground and went for another spinning kick. Sasuke watched him and knew he wouldn't be able to dodge, but he tried to block. Lee, however, was faster and his kicks connected with Sasuke's face and sent him tumbling to the ground. A good opponent. It gives me the opportunity to try this, Sasuke said and looked arrogantly to Lee. With Team 8, oh, Sasuke managed to activate his precious Sharingan, Naruto said. 2 Tomoes in each eye, not bad. Lee versus Sasuke. With these eyes I'm undefeated, Sasuke replied. Sasuke smiled. So that's the Sharingan. Lee said and got ready to continue his duel. Sasuke ran forward, confident of his superiority. Lee dashed forward too, but managed to bypass his defenses. Lee stood next to Sasuke. He bent down and gave him a kick in the chin, and then that sent him into the air and crashing into the ground again. Sasuke got up, wondering what was going on, and ran again towards Lee. They faced each other, but Lee won every smackling after often sending him tumbling to the ground. Sasuke's Sharingan was rendered useless with Team 8 figures. Sasuke doesn't stand a chance, Naruto said. But shouldn't the Sharingan be able to track him? Hinata asked. The Sharingan can track Lee, however, Sasuke isn't fast enough to position himself to block the attack. Even though Sasuke can clearly see Lee's attack, he can't defend himself against them. There is a reason why I train my body and use gravity seals. The Sharingan alone doesn't make you all powerful, Naruto explained. So there is a weakness in those eyes, Shino started. The weakness per se doesn't seem from the eyes, but from the fact that Sasuke's body isn't trained to handle those speeds, so he can't match them. Let's leave. The fight is over, Naruto said, and Team 8 left toward the exam room since it was about to start. Exam room. Team 8 arrived to the right floor. They stopped near the exam room and opened the door. They stepped in, were immediately blasted with killer intent. However, to someone that felt the cube is killer intent, something like this, it didn't even bother them. Naruto entered the classroom and scanned it with his Sharingan, hiding it as many and hidden, taking as many faces as possible and watching weapons and other details that he could find. He also noticed the team from Kumo, Taki, and Sand. Moments later, Team 7 also arrived with Sasuke in a bad shape. He had his right cheek bruised, and neither of them knew any type of medical genjutsu, so it remained there. Looks like the gang is all here, Kiba said as they entered the room and saw Team 7 and Team 10. Sasuke, do you want me to heal your face? Hinata asked. After everything she suffered, she remained a kind person. This scratch is meaningless, Sasuke said. My Sasuke is so strong, Sakura thought as she wrapped in her thought about healing her. Uchi Sasuke-kun, Ino yelled as she ran a hug the poor Sasuke from behind, much to the displace of Sakura. I thought you wouldn't be coming, Whiskers, a girl said. Everyone turned around and saw Yugito making her towards Naruto with her team. Whiskers, now that's a good name, Hinata said, laughing. Don't you dare, Naruto said, pointing at her. What are you going to do? Hinata asked in a teasing voice. Naruto simply walked to her and planted a full kiss in her lips that left her drowsy. Wow. Do I get one of those every time I call you Whiskers? Hinata wondered with a finger on her chin, making her look very cute. Get a room, you two, Ino said, making both of them blush. Just my luck, Yugito pondered. The cute guys are always taken. Keep it down, some guys said. Everyone turned to face him. He wore a pair of circular glasses. He also has onyx eyes and the ash gray hair. which he kept in a ponytail that extended from his purple upper back, with his bangs framing the entire side of his forehead. He wore a dark purple shirt with a high collar with a white undershirt, dark purple fingerless gloves with round plates on the back of the hand, with white cloth wizard worn at the angle, dark purple hand, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. You are putting everyone on their toes. Everyone is nervous as it is, the man said as he pointed to the Amini present in the Ami ninjas present in the room. Who are you? Sakura asked. I am Yakushi Kabuto, but you are rookies, so it figures that you don't know this. Kabuto explained. Have you already tried the exam? Sakura asked. Actually, this is my seventh try. Kabuto explained sheepishly, rubbing the back of his head. Man, you must be weak. Kiba said. These exams aren't easy. Maybe I can share some information with you. Kabuto started and took a deck of cards from his pocket. These are chakra cards. They react to my chakra signature and reveal the information. As you can see, there are teams of all of the countries except Iwa and Kiri. As except Iowa heads Konoha and Kiri is in the civil war. I can also give you some information on anyone here. Kabuto concluded, and Naruto got suspicious, meaning he doesn't have any information about the hidden stone and a hidden mist. However, I can also Naruto got this. However, could Kabuto have information on shinobi of other village? However, he decided to test his theory. Then I want to know about Ni Yugito from Kumo and Gara of the Sand from Shuna. Asked Naruto, and Yugito crossed her arms. You could always ask me. Yugito said yes, but you could lie. Naruto replied, and she huffed. Let's start with Gara of the Sand, son of the Kazekage. His team is composed of his brother Sabuko no Gankaro and his sister Sabuko no Tamari and their Jonin sensei Ibiki sensei Baki. His skills are all unknown. He completed 10 D ranks, 15 C ranks, and 1 B rank. There is a note that says he returned from all missions without a scratch. It looks like there are more strong people this year. Kabuto said a few shivered. Now Ni Yudio from Kumo. She is on a team with Omoi and Karui and their Jonin Sensei's killer B. The card shows she has very good taijutsu and ninjutsu and no talent in genjutsu. She completed 10 D ranks, 5 C ranks, and 2 B ranks. What is up with genins and their missions? Kabuto said, and Naruto chuckled. Okay, now I want some information too about Naruto Uzumaki from Konoha, Yogito said, and Kabuto picked his cards. Naruto Uzumaki from Konoha. He is on a team with Hyuga Hanata and Abura Meshino under Yui Kuranai, Konoha's Genjutsu mistress. He is the academy dead last with low taijutsu, medium ninjutsu, and no talent in genjutsu. But there is a note that says he has created an S-rank lightning jutsu. Kabuto started and everyone's eyes widened, and Yugito narrowed her eyes at him. Now, missions: 65 D ranks, 14 C ranks, 1 B rank, 1 A rank, and what the hell is this? two S-rank missions, Kabuto explained, and everyone was mopping the floor with their jaws. Beginning with A and S-rank mission is unheard of. Yeah, even Gara did only two B ranks, but he did one A rank and two S ranks. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Kabuto. One of those S-rank missions was supposed to be a secret. That kid is a mystery, dead last, and yet has some high missions. Yugito thought, S-ranks. How are you still alive? Kiba yelled. Keep it down. Can't tell S-rank secret punishable by death. Naruto said, and everyone just stared at him. But I can explain the other mission if anyone wants to. If anyone wants to know. Naruto said smirkingly, "Did you really create an S-rank lightning jutsu?" Yuito asked. Red lightning jutsu is her village's specialty, and S-rank moves are rare independent of their types. Naruto simply nodded, and everyone was having their doubts. "It is true, I saw it," Kiba said, and everyone turned to him. It was awesome. He sent some white ball to the sky, and then thunder formed. Then he somehow commanded the thunder, and he attacked the bridge and blew everything around it, killing about 100 thugs and destroying the bridge. Kiba explained, and everyone stared at the blonde, who was getting uncomfortable, and even some cautious of Kabuto. If he's the dead last, I don't even want to know about the rookie of the year. Kabuto and Sasuke smart, getting a confidence boost. You know, kid, he smells like it smells of snakes. Something isn't right here, Kyuubi said, and Naruto said mental note to send a spy fox on him. Silence! Now sit down and let's begin the test, Ibiki yelled, and everyone quieted down and turned to face Ibiki, who was standing wait a second, who was standing and a few Chunins around him, and entered the room and with a few Chunins around him. "Show your iris and pick your number to be seated. Then we will begin the written exam." Written exam? That sucks, Naruto thought. A few minutes later, everyone was seated with their test in front of them, but face down. All around the classroom were Chunins with few boards. Surprisingly enough, Hinata managed to sit right next to Naruto. This test has a few rules. Number 1, each one starts with 10 points. Each wrong answer discloses 1 point. Number 2, the total score is based on the whole team, Ibiki explained, and a few gaps. "Kiba, you better pass, otherwise I will kill you," Sakura thought. Poor Kiba, seeing the glare from his teammates started to sweat. Number 3, each time you are caught cheating, you lose 2 points. Get caught 5 times, your team is automatically failed. The last question answered last. You have 45 minutes to answer the 10 questions. Hajime, start. Ibiki said. Naruto picked up his pencil and turned his sheet, only to faced with extremely hard question. What the hell is this? These questions aren't for gains, Naruto thought, and looked around the classroom. Everyone seemed to be lost except for a few that were writing. I know some, but I bet 90% of the people here can't answer a single one. Something isn't right here, Naruto thought, and began pondering what Ibiki said. Naruto knew that Ibiki was the leader of the torture and integration division, and he focused on mental torture. I see. If you get caught cheating, you lose points. Now I get it. We are meant to cheat, but without getting caught. Must be some information gathering exercise, Naruto thought and looked around the room. He noticed that Hinata had her Byakugans activated and was already starting to write. Shino was using his bugs to scout for anyone with the answers. Kiba was using Akamaru that was on his head, high enough to spot someone else's answer sheet. Tenten was using mirrors on the ceiling so that she could get reflection of another genin. Sasuke was writing since he was a book. Sakura was writing since he was a bookworm and could easily answer the exam. Sasuke had his Sharingan activated and was copying someone's hand movement. Naruto waited for a few minutes until he spotted someone lowering their exam sheet, signaling that he was finished. They must have placed a few tunings around to answer the exams. Naruto thought, now how to cheat. I don't want to copy hand movement. It's lame. I know. I know. Naruto thought and activated his EMS and quickly used his Kamui and sent his own sheet to his personal pocket dimension. Naruto focused his chakra, focused on the Chunin's exam sheet and used Kamui to warp the paper. Naruto took the sheet from his personal dimension and placed it on the table. He simply erased the Chunin's name and wrote his own. Naruto lowered his head and decided to sleep until the first part of the exam was over. Now that the week are spotted out, let's begin the last question. However, this one it has its own rules. Ibiki started and everyone focused on him. Number one, you can choose if you want or not to answer the question. Ibiki said. What happens if you choose not to answer it? Tamari asked. If you choose not to answer it, you automatically fail. Ibiki said. Then of course we will answer it. Someone replied. So, however, if you choose to answer it and get it wrong, you will fail and forever be unable to retake the Chunin exams, meaning you will be gaining for life. Ibiki explained. What? Someone yelled. You cannot do that. There are people in here who are retaking the exams. Kiba said. I guess you guys have bad luck. My test, my rule. If you don't want to take a risk, then give up. Ibiki said, and everyone started pondering, and a few started leaving. A few moments later, Ibiki noticed that Naruto was almost half asleep and tossed a kunai that landed in front of him. Naruto didn't even flinch. Wake up, Naruto! Ibiki yelled. Just get it over with, Naruto said as Naruto started and Ibiki raised an eyebrow. I don't give up and I never surrender. Even if I stay a Genin for life, I promise I will be the first Genin Hokage. And he becomes the first Genin Hokage because he never gets promoted to Jonin. Naruto said smirkingly. Ibiki looked around the room and noticed that the rest of the Genins got somewhat inspired by his speech. I mean the original timeline. Here he might get promoted, I don't know. But in the original canon timeline, he becomes the seventh Hokage without being promoted as a Jonin. If no one wants to leave, then there is only one last thing to say. You all pass. Ibiki said. What? What? Why? Kiba asked. You seem to have figured it out. Ibiki said, pointing to Naruto. He sighed and started. The first part of the exam was to information gathering. If you recall, Ibiki said, if you get caught cheating, you lose points. That could only mean that we are nearly to cheat without getting caught. Information is half of the battle. The mission just because the last part was to know if we had the guts to be Chunins. You don't abandon a mission just because it might be hard. A Chunin is expected to lead, and as soon as he must inspire confidence and courage in his team. Naruto explained, and almost the rookie stared at him as if he grew a second hand. Precisely, Vicky said, until something came crashing through the windows. Everyone watched as someone entered flying through the windows. As it reached the middle of the classroom, it opened and to show a woman. She sent two kunais to the ceiling to secure what appears to be a sign. Proctor of the second round, might Uncle started yelling but was cut off by Naruto. Why, Uncle? Naruto said, waving his hand. Damn it, Naruto, you ruined my entrance, Uncle yelled at him. Come on, don't be mad, Uncle-chan. Uncle-chan, Uncle said, Naruto said with impressive on the last part. I will kill you later, brat. Now, everyone, go to the training ground 44. Be there in 40 minutes, or you all fail. Go, Uncle said, and everyone left the room in a hurry. Naruto and Hinata just shishwin there. That's all for part. For this part, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribing is the best way to notified for new parts. That being said, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.